Three, two, one. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Small Talk on the Mats. On today's episode, I have another guest who I go way back with. He is an entrepreneur who owns his own printing and graphic design business, big printing company. If you've seen stickers, flags, banners printed all over town, it's probably his work. And if anything has graphics on it, it's probably from him too. But not only that, he's been one of my closest friends since I moved to Albuquerque back in the early 2000s. We went to Cibola High School together, so it kind of tells our age. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Jacob Muldez. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
really appreciate it.
For sure, bro. It's a pleasure having you over here, Ben. So, as I explained before we started rolling, that I do have a Q&A format kind of podcast. So I'm just going to go through a series of questions. They're each categorized, and you can answer them as openly as you want. Cool?
Awesome. Yeah, let's get started.
All right, man. First is your business journey. So the first question in this category is, what inspired you to start your own printing business?
Okay, what inspired me to start my own printing business? Well, I could tell you how I got started. Maybe that will open the door to, I guess, a deeper conversation. But I got started because I was doing some advertising and marketing for a friend's business, and we just kind of needed a lot of, print stuff. And so I was getting that from another company. And shout out to my friend Jeff Marquette, who actually sold me the business, essentially.
Okay.
He reached out to me, and he was, I think, kind of done with it. It was called Floss Factory at the time, and said, "Hey, I've got this sticker equipment. Would you want to buy it?" At the time, I was like, "Well, I don't have a whole lot of money. I got about $500. Would that do it?" And he said, "Yeah, So pretty much it started me on this path that I just didn't even. I never thought that I was going to be going down.
Yeah.
So yeah, he brought me the equipment and got me set up and said, "Hey, make your first sticker." And I remember I was so excited, but then when I got in front of the computer and I started to try to make like my first sticker, it was not as easy as I thought, right? So I struggled with it a little bit and got a little frustrated and said, like, this is stupid. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
But like we always do, we just, one thing at a time, or one foot in front of the other. We figured it out,
Gotcha.
and started with just vinyl cut decals, and evolved from there, bigger and bigger, to the point where, with the help of family, with my brother Joseph, we actually got bigger equipment, and we've gone through a lot of, I guess,
Trials and tribulations.
Well, I guess you could say like just the business and the product has evolved, right? And so,
Right.
Now we went down a completely different thing. I actually stepped away from it for a while, and I did real estate, and I feel like I did well in real estate, but I just realized that it wasn't what I loved.
Mm-hmm.
And in the meantime, I had this passion for designing and printing, and I always kind of compare it in a comparison to real estate is, I instead of having a closing every few months or whatever, I get to have a closing, like a little closing every day, and but I still feel like it's almost just as rewarding in a sense. You bring somebody's idea to life, and you just see how happy it makes them.
Yeah.
And then that is very rewarding for me.
It's good.
So
Okay.
yeah, that's kind of how I got started. I guess what inspired me to go full time in the business was just I wasn't happy with where I was at. I felt like I felt like I could be my own boss, so to speak.
Gotcha.
And I could kind of do things on my own terms.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the best way to go, I think.
Yeah.
Cool, man. My next question to you, bro, is what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced on early in your opening?
Um, I would say the biggest challenges in terms of actually, I don't know. It was all very natural for me, because it's something that I love, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess maybe taking the plunge into going full time, maybe that was one of the biggest things.
Okay.
But we have, so many good friends and family and support that it made it a little easier.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
so I guess taking the first step, right? The first step's always the hardest.
It
And
is.
so the hardest thing for me was to kind of walk away from, actually, just like any transition, right? It's the first step, right? Like just jumping into something new or walking away from something old, right?
Yeah,
And so I'm glad I did.
yeah,
I really am glad I did because it, most importantly, is giving me, time to spend with my family and doing things that I enjoy. So,
good. Okay,
yeah.
cool, man. My next question: how did you land your first paying client?
Paying client. Well, um, honestly, I've never really had trouble with sales. I'm pretty outgoing.
Yeah.
Um, I've always been able to put myself out there and say, I think maybe it's because I'm like a yes man kind of. I've
Okay.
always been able to, if someone has like a need for something, I've always been the guy to say like, oh yeah, I can help you with that.
Yeah, for sure.
So really, it was just, I was just there, like I was there to help. I've always just been there to help, with whatever anybody needs. And so
Yeah.
it came pretty naturally,
Okay.
So,
Gotcha.
yeah,
All right, bro. Question number 4.
yeah.
Do you ever deal with imposter syndrome? And if so, how do you manage it?
I do. I do a lot. I feel like the business has kind of just kind of it. I feel like it's bigger than I am. Really, like I'm. I don't know. I don't know why I feel that way. I know that I put in a lot of the time and the work to build it to where it is, and I think that most of our just all of the support that we get. I think it's just maybe good karma, or it's because we're just there for people. Like we're just there to help. We've never done it for any other kind of agenda. We're there to help when people need
Yeah,
us.
it's authentic.
And so um, it's gotten us a lot of love, and like just I feel like we just have so much support and so many friends and such a big network that um, I could never have predicted that this is where we were going to end up.
Hmm.
But yeah, like I just have to take a step back and give myself a little bit of credit for that and not feel like an imposter,
Yeah,
which is kind of
yeah,
hard for me because
yeah.
I've never been like front and center kind of guy. I'm like more of like in the background
Gotcha.
normally.
Yeah, for
So
sure, man.
so
All
yeah.
right. Yeah, I think everybody deals with it in their own ways, but I don't think there's a wrong way to deal with it. But yeah, I think at some point in time, everybody is going to deal with it at some point in time in their lives. So
Yeah.
as long as you deal with it in a beneficial way, you know what I mean. So like you said, you got that good support, so that's all that matters, man. Question number 5. We're going into the subject of creative process and design thinking, man. How would you describe your design style and how has it evolved?
My design style. Okay, it's very copy and paste, it's it's always been and I think a lot of art it's imitation of other things that you like, right? My design style, I would say, is it's almost like I don't know what my style is. I just know how to like get things done, right? So it's like, oh, somebody wants this, I'll be resourceful and find the maybe the assets for it on like a service like Adobe or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
put it together, and not be afraid to put in some work and maybe make something that's awful, and maybe they don't like it, and I got to tweak it or make some adjustments or whatever. But it's like the quote, right? Is you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like I'm still practicing and still learning and still not the best or even anywhere near what I would consider to be like, the professional graphic designer, but I'm willing to try.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
yeah. Even when I took my printing to you for the shirts and stuff, man,
Mhm.
like you added your own like little style to it. I remember you adding little tweaks to the design and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
your input is very like helpful. So
Well, thank you. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I haven't really identified what the style is. I just know that I'm kind of, I'm just trying. I'm
For
out.
sure.
I'm not afraid to make mistakes.
For
It's
sure.
like, hey, it's like Bob Ross. It's like,
Yeah.
we might make an accident. Hey, maybe it's a happy accident. Sometimes the designs come out great. Sometimes we gotta go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. As far as the creative process, actually, there's a documentary. I don't want to misquote it, but it was about artists and especially professional artists, right? And the guy said, you can't wait for like inspiration all the time. You just have to go to work.
Yeah.
And so I think that's another hurdle that I have. I can't speak for anyone else, but it's just starting the work. Otherwise I'll procrastinate till till forever. So
Gotcha.
yeah, I think that's a lot of my creative process or success or any of it is really all just action based.
Okay.
It's just gotta start somewhere, gotta get it started so that way I can figure it out and get to completion, right?
Okay. Makes sense, man. Okay.
Yeah.
On the same subject here, walk me through your process when you're working with a new client from the first time meeting them to up to the final delivery.
Okay, yeah. Well, I always think that it's about, that they're going to come to you with a need. You have to identify that need. You have to see, how you can help them and, guide them, right? See if they're, think outside the box. And I like to have a conversation. I'm such a phone guy. I feel like texting and emailing things can get lost in translation. So I'm the first person, if you know me, that'll say, just call me. So that way we can talk and, get into a flow and see, take it to somewhere where maybe we weren't even expecting to go.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. And then from there, it's, you kind of got to just hold their hand through the process until, the product is delivered. It was the same for me in real estate. It's like, you find the I guess you get your checklist and you can find the thing that checks off most of the boxes, and then you create a plan to go and get it, or to figure out how to make that product or to get that house, or what do we have to do, what steps do we have to take to get there.
Okay.
And then do it together, most of all, as like a team.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Cool. All right. Where do you find creative inspiration when you feel stuck?
It can be anywhere. It could be from nature, from a movie, from a song, from your own life experiences,
Okay.
from other art, like I said, and really, what I do is again imposter syndrome, right? I sometimes feel like I don't really do art. I'm just trying to bring someone else's vision to life.
Okay.
So a lot of that inspiration comes from other people, right? And I think that's what makes our company great is it's not like, you look at our page, right, and there's all this great art, and most of it is actually done, has been done by our main designer. His name is Dustin Cheneyfelt, Dustin Artin 2.0 on Instagram, and he's a great artist. Now, he is a great artist, I will say. But I think that the reason why we look so cool is because of everyone else's art and ideas, and
Okay.
it's kind of like the same way I feel about like my music collection, right? Like when DJing or whatever,
Yeah.
it's like, well, where does all this music come from? And really, it comes from shared experience with friends and community, right? It's like I feel like that's one of my greatest assets is just the big community that I'm a part of.
Yeah.
Right? It's just I have so many friends, and it's like if you use that right, it's endless resources, right? Of there's more music to be always to be heard, and more art to be seen, and more styles to be explored.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I think that the inspiration comes from everyone else,
Okay.
really.
Shit, man, that's a good answer, dude. I like that. Question number 8. How do you balance artistic vision with the client's wants? You kind of went over it, but specifically, so like even if you have a like an art design that's brought to you, but you want to you have an input or something to make it better.
Hmm. Really, like I said, it all has to be spontaneous for me. Um, and that's I think where my best work is done is whenever, like I said, we can collaborate and do things in real time. And it's like, hey, maybe this should go here, and maybe we should, take some of this away from here, and maybe this letter looks like a. I'm gonna shout out Johnny Bad Luck because we redesigned his sticker, and actually it was my friend Gary who helped me with that one. Some of like his letters were a little too close together. It was kind of getting the message convoluted, and we said, hey, why don't we put some space here and make us a little bit more legible. And it actually it's a simple design, but I think that the redesign came out really good.
Okay.
It's the one with the Stay Bad with like the little broken heart. Shout out to Gary for making that broken heart. And yeah, like I said, we just kind of shuffled those letters around, made it a little easier to read, and I think
Gotcha.
that just those little adjustments
Yeah.
helped.
Little tweaks. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got you, man.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Next subject is going to be entrepreneurship and lessons learned over the years of entrepreneurship. First one in this section is, what's one mistake you made early on that turned out to be a valuable lesson to you?
Okay, that's a good question in terms of entrepreneurship. I mean, I don't really know. I don't really keep too much track of that. I'm not afraid to fail forward, like just like the book. I'm not sure if you've read that one, but I think, just got to not be afraid to try, and fail and learn from those mistakes. And I think that my biggest maybe mistake in at least this business was just not going all in sooner,
Okay. Yeah.
because I was, had, half one foot in real estate and one foot in the print business. And, I'm multitasking and trying to take on like events and like doing all of these things and just doing too much at once and not focusing on the one thing. And actually, that's another good book if you haven't read it. Is The One Thing by Gary Keller.
Okay. I haven't read
Which I was listening to on the way down from Denver today.
Okay.
And it kind of some takeaways was when you're multitasking too much, then you're not really doing any one thing to like the best of your abilities, right?
Okay.
And so I think I was maybe multitasking too much and not really doing my best work at any one thing.
Okay.
And so when I finally jumped in and really committed to it, I think that's when it really took off.
Okay. Cool, man. That makes sense, man. Next question is, what's a misconception that people have about running a creative business or a printing business?
Maybe that it's going to be easy. So our slogan for Big Printing Co. is "Printing ain't easy." So if you ever see our banners or our license plates or our sweaters, it'll say "Printing ain't easy" underneath, because it isn't. There's so many things that could go wrong, right? Whether that's not being able to um, maybe bring somebody's vision to life the first time, where now you're doing all these edits, and it's frustrating because you want to get it right the first time, but you don't always. And sometimes it's the equipment, right? Like, these printers can smell fear, like, and they can tell when you have a deadline. That's exactly when they'll break. And so it's not easy, and you have to really persevere. Like, I've had equipment go down on me in the middle of big jobs, and I've had to pivot, had to outsource things. Had to find a way to keep things going whenever things aren't, whenever the things that I think are all in my control just are not. And so really, it's just, I just always find a way.
Okay. Yeah, I witnessed actually some of that when I went over to when you were printing some of my stickers. I think like I don't know if you remember, but some of them kind of came out a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to like chop that little section off or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of got a taste of what you guys go through of printing and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of mistakes. It's sounds like somebody could say, "Oh, I just want 100 stickers even," right? And then that's the day when the cutter just doesn't want to read, or something like that.
Yeah.
Or the registration marks are crooked, and now your offset path is like way outside of the sticker or something.
Yeah.
And so it's, for me, it's about not not giving up, and not taking those things personally, and just moving forward.
Gotcha.
Always. So
Okay.
that's what it is. Even if we end up with a trash can full of mistakes or whatever, we just keep on printing till we have that final product.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay, bro. Sweet. What actually, how do you handle the business side, like pricing, contracts, scaling, negotiations, things like that?
So we do a lot of just direct comparison to a lot of the bigger companies, and we try to be there and try to figure out what are they doing to offer a good product at at the price that people want to pay.
Mm-hmm.
And we try to mimic that, right? And in real estate, we always called it R&D, which is rip off and duplicate what other more successful people are doing.
Yeah.
And so we have the and watching a lot of videos and educating ourselves on the equipment. We have the equipment, we have the materials, we have all of the ingredients that it should take to make that product and to do it at that price point, and then you just have to execute it, right? So
Okay.
so yeah, I'm not above like learning from everyone. So I've learned the business from observing others, let's just say.
Yeah. I think that's how you got to do it, man. Because like if you learn from everybody, like you just said, and then you take what you like, use it, discard what you don't.
The golden nuggets.
Yeah, there you go, man. Perfect.
Yeah.
Easily said.
Yeah.
Next question. Have you ever thought about quitting? And if you did, what kept you going?
I have thought about quitting. I've thought about quitting and getting a real job, because it's there's so many things in life. Like recently found out that we're gonna have a baby, right?
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like, oh shit! Like, do I just go get a real job? And I think that the answer for me is no. It's time to grind harder.
Okay.
It's there's so much ebb and flow and highs and lows in business, right?
Right.
It's like sometimes you have a killer month, sometimes you don't. and sometimes you're about to give up, and then you get a huge order or something that just puts you right back in the game. And
Yeah.
you know, it's it's sometimes mentally taxing, but you know, it's all about that mental toughness, like we learned in
In wrestling.
in wrestling, you know, in sports and stuff. And
Yeah.
you know, like again, it's easier to say than to do, but just keep on putting one foot in front of the other, and just never give up.
That's it, man.
Just never give up, man.
Keep fucking grinding.
Because you
man.
might be that one step away from, you know, whatever, walking through whatever door it is that we're and ending up where you're meant to be.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, never give up, dude. I think that's a good message for everybody who's in business, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so our next topic is looking ahead. What's next for your company? Like any big plans or dreams, goals you're chasing?
Okay, yeah. So our goal, and I've got a couple of them, but you know, let's say short term goals, right? We want to actually, and when I say shop, I just mean like you know, a production shop. So like we want to open a shop. You know, like we want to do a building that has a lot of equipment, and we've also talked about making that more of a creative space where, you know, our friends and our family and our customers can come in, and you know, we can consult and collaborate and do things in real time. Like I said, is kind of my favorite way of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, just having this basically resource for everyone to come in and you know, see their visions come to life.
Yeah.
Right. And so we're gonna do a bigger building. We want to a building. Right now we're in a garage. But
pretty much every business starts out of a garage.
yeah,
I
so
mean.
it's cool. We do a lot in the garage, but we would like to grow beyond that. And then other than that, I want to, of course, just sharpen my skills in business, because I thought I knew how to run a business, but it turns out I didn't know shit. So I'm just, you know, I'm always learning. I'm a student of life and student of business, and you know, I learn from my friends. One of the guys that I really look up to, his name is Mike Smirka. He's in Nashville, and he has a laser business called Diode Designs.
Okay.
And he was one of the guys that taught me, you know, how to ship things on a large scale, right? Like we're shipping things all over the country. He taught me, he told me about a shipping service that we use that helps us, you know, get a discount, you know, send tracking information in real time, and you know, it just makes that one thing a little bit more automated, a little bit more manageable.
Yeah.
And then also, you know, just seeing the way he operates has really inspired me to keep on going with our business, and has given me some ideas on how to really, I guess, monetize some of the things that we do. Like I haven't done it yet, but maybe making, like, you know, videos and stuff like that I might be able to engage with people more, and might get us some more business, but also might even get us some revenue, because, you know, maybe we start getting some views or some sponsorships or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so shout out to Mike. Thank you for leading by example on that one. And yeah, other than that, something that I've been working on recently is we've been doing a lot of on-site printing for some music festivals, and my like pipe dream is to bring a mobile print service to like an event or a festival or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm working in a garage, so I know how to do a lot in a really small footprint. And I think that but I don't want to be the one doing it the whole time. Maybe I could staff it correctly, but have Big Printing Co. on site at some of these festivals where, I was just at one things always happen. Some signs didn't show up, and I happened to just be ready with a little printer, and we made like a couple little signs, and yeah. So it's about being in the right place at the right time, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
And being ready for those opportunities and getting lucky, right?
Yeah, that's
Because
pretty fucking cool.
yeah, another quote before I forget, right, is somebody said, luck is when preparation meets opportunity, right? And so we were prepared for an opportunity, and when it happened, we said, hey, we can help you guys.
Yeah,
And
that's pretty cool, dude.
we and I think that's kind of how we show value, right? Is like we're here, we have knowledge and equipment and experience, and we want to just help in any way we can.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking cool, man. Yeah, a mobile little thing would be cool for business. Great opportunity for sure, I think. Um, next question. How do you see the print or design world changing in the next 5 to 10 years?
A lot more automation. I myself, am guilty of like really wanting to get a machine that just does everything for me.
Mm-hmm.
Which they're expensive, and maybe I'll get there. I will get there. I will get there.
There you
I'll
go.
just keep on going.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I think that yeah, these machines are just capable of doing so much these days, and actually, another, just to kind of go off on another tangent, I see it going in a direction where it's a lot more accessible and user friendly for people to do it at home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like honestly, I'm not, even though the print industry is the secrets are pretty guarded, but I'm like an open book, so it's like, I love to see people make their own stuff.
Yeah.
I'm very supportive of that, and there's these companies that are just making things that make it fun and easy to print,
Yeah.
whether that's printing directly onto something or printing your little stickers at home or like whatever,
Yeah.
and I think that really, I mean, there's gonna always be a need for large print companies, but I do see it going in the direction of people being able to be creative on their own, and you can get a sticker printer on Amazon for pretty cheap and make your own stuff. All you have to do
Mm-hmm.
is, like I said, not wait for the inspiration and just do it. Just make art and have fun.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. All right, man. I got you. Yeah, I thought about before I hit anybody up, I thought about printing my own stickers, dude, and I had so much going on. I was just like, nah, man, I'm just gonna leave it up to someone else to print my stickers for me, because I mean, like, you're dedicated, man, but that's your niche, right? That's what you do, bro. You're good at that shit. So
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, there's levels to it for
Yeah.
sure, and I've got years of experience to make them look the way that they look,
Yeah.
and feel the way that they feel.
Yeah.
Materials that we use and the settings that we use. It's what it's all about. And if you're willing to put the time in to figure those things out, then you can do it on your own. And
Yeah.
if you don't have the time to do that, then you can just call me.
Yeah.
So,
There you go.
yeah.
Cool, man. My next question for you, bro. What advice would you give someone who wants to start a printing or a graphic design business?
A printing or a graphic design business, or really just any business, right, is just make sure that you have customers. Like make sure that and for any business, just make sure that that's part of your business plan, is like, who am I going to sell this stuff to,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I've seen so many businesses where you get super invested, and at the end of the day, you've done all this work, you're making a great product, and forget that at the end of the day, you have to sell it to somebody. Just because you have all this product doesn't it automatically turn it into money. You have to, be a part of a great community. Like, we're a part of a great community. I'll shout them out. That we got so much traction going on to music festivals. The one that helped us the most is called Friendship. It changed my life. It got me excited about, community, and what a community can do, they can really prop you up. Like we have so many friends from friendship that, um, like I said, sometimes when I'm in that ebb and flow and I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, I don't really have things coming in right now, and then we'll just get like, you know, a wave of our friends saying like, hey, I want some more, fun stickers, right? And then that just brightens my day because it's like, okay, we're gonna pay the bills this month, and then we're also gonna see everybody's funny, crazy, you know, out of pocket designs, and
Yeah.
and then like I said, at the end of the day, we deliver that to them, and they're always just so happy.
It's
They're
good.
happy to see their ideas come to life. Dustin again, for designing all of that cool stuff, and just keeping a smile on our face, man, because a printing business is only as good as the art that it's printing, right?
Mhm.
So it's really valuable.
Okay. That's sweet, man. It's good to have that support behind you too. All right. So next topic is personal connection. So back in high school, um, did you ever think that you'd be running your own company back then?
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe if I mean, and you know me, and I think a lot of people know me as I've just kind of always been a hustler, whether that's just like what can I do to make a few bucks,
Yeah.
like, right? And so I think it was kind of natural. I've always been kind of a natural salesman. I have never been a pushy salesman, but I've always been a natural salesman in the sense that I'm like, oh, hey, I think that this might really help you, and
Mm.
in not a selfish way.
Yeah.
Like I think that this is, maybe a product that is good for you, or something like along those lines, right? And so
Yeah.
I think that, yeah, I think that I maybe didn't know it at the time, but that I was always just kind of meant to have a business,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
of
So
my own, I guess.
yeah, yeah. So the next question actually caveats off of this, but so what were some early signs that you were going to be like an entrepreneur, like into sales, or that kind of field that you're in now?
Some early signs, um, man, I hated working for anyone else, man. I always wanted to work for myself. Um, I just, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've always been very self-sufficient, right? And I've held jobs for some time, but I always kind of was drawn towards business. At first it was the 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 shop, the auto shop, where I got started with the sticker business, and then it was the sticker business, then it was the real estate, and then it was, um, I guess back to printing. But it's just always been, you know, I wanted to do things on my terms.
Okay. Gotcha.
So I think those were maybe the signs, that I've just always kind of wanted to do it for me and not for someone else.
Okay. Cool, man. Yeah, and like you mentioned earlier, man, like I don't think from the years that I've known you, bro, I don't think you have one selfish bone in your body, man. So I think that helps a lot too. It's like that perspective of always wanting to help someone out. I think that's like a mandatory thing in sales,
Yeah, I think so.
for sure.
I think so, because if you force people to, buy something that they don't need or don't actually want, then they're gonna have remorse for that, and then they're gonna say, "Well, that guy is a jerk. He steered me wrong," and that's not what we're here to do.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
we're
cool, man.
we're here to help people out. So.
That's what's up, man. Cool, bro. All right. Let's go to the last section. And these are bonus questions, man. They're quick, rapid fire questions, bro. Um, what is your favorite design tool?
My favorite design tool. I would say my favorite design tool. I guess my favorite design software is probably Adobe, and then all of the tools that they offer now, they're just making all of this, integrating all of this. They've always had AI in a sense, but they're integrating all of this AI, and then they have all of their stock images, a huge library that's actually like collaborative, is if you're an artist, you can sell them designs, vectors, and things like that become assets that other artists can use to, as building blocks for their own art and designs, right?
Okay.
So I think that is what I spend the most time on, definitely.
Okay. Adobe, gotcha. Worst client request.
Worst client request. Can you make me something, but I don't know what it is? And then whenever you make it, can you just change it a little? And so like you just have to have some sort of direction, like if you don't know what you want, then I don't know what you want. If you don't know what you want me to help you with, then I can't help you, right? So I think vagueness, I don't think that helps anyone, in any kind of business or in any part of your life, whether that's, what do you want to be successful at or what kind of art do you want? I think you should be specific about it.
Okay. Yeah.
Be intentional about it.
Okay. I mean, it makes complete sense. Going in there with a blank slate doesn't help anybody. But.
No, it makes it much harder. So.
What is your go-to productivity hack?
My go-to productivity hack nowadays is focusing on the one thing. So I keep on mentioning the one thing, and everybody thinks you have to think big and go big all the time, when it's like actually sometimes if you just hone in on something small, right, do the most important thing on your to-do list or success list is what they call it, and get that thing done, then you can move on to the next thing.
Okay.
And it helps, it really helps, because again, with the multitasking thing, is I was always trying to print 10 different jobs at a time, and then you start lagging behind, and it's like okay, like there are all these things that are on the table that are started but not finished. And so productivity hack, do one thing at a time.
Gotcha, man.
One thing at a time.
Okay. Yeah. Duly noted, man. What is one project that you are super proud of, and why?
One project that I'm super proud of and why? I'm proud of all of them. I really am. Yeah, I could say that they all give me the same amount of satisfaction, but there have been some that have been physically just larger than others. Like one thing I did with my brother Joseph, we wrapped a gym with a big logo that was like a 30, I don't know, let me see, like a 40-foot print in 3 different sections, and so it was like about 12 feet tall by 40 feet wide. Sheesh. And we had to just inch by inch just lay it down on this wall. We were up on a lift about 20 feet off of the ground. Yikes, just taping this thing to the wall and then just squeegeeing it by hand, piece by piece, lining it up and then adjusting it where we needed to. And it's one of those things where you feel like, man, we're never gonna accomplish this, but then if you just keep on going and you persevere, and eventually you do finish, and you can step back and be proud of of what you did accomplish, and you look at it and you're like, holy crap, that thing is huge.
Yeah.
I've done a few things like that. There's a funny story. We had a client that kind of had a small billboard in front of their business. Mm-hmm. And they approached us, can you help me wrap this billboard? And me being yes man, I said, yeah, of course we can help you do that. And so I print out all of these pieces of this puzzle, essentially, to wrap this billboard. And it's always it's always like yeah, I can do it. And then you get there and you realize the scope of the project, or the magnitude of the project. And I'm looking at this thing, and I rented a little lift again, little scissor lift, and I'm like,
yeah,
oh man, it's high up there. I took Danny up there with me, and as soon as we got up there, she said, nope, let me down. And so I let her down, so she could be comfortable. And I went back up there, and I just you know, getting over I don't really have a fear of heights, but like when you're on a lift and it's, kind of wobbly, you'll have a little bit of a fear of heights.
Oh, for sure.
So just go from, piece by piece, one foot in front of the other, step by step, from left to right, just did the whole thing. And at the time I felt, when I was doing it, like, this is crazy, like, why am I doing this? I'm never going to finish this, whatever
Yeah.
it is. And you have all of those thoughts in your mind, right? All of those self-defeating thoughts. And really, it's just if you have the mindset that you can do it, you can. And so, like I said, I just laid one piece down after another till it was done. And then when I got finished and I could step back and admire the project, I was like, wow, I did that with my right hands, so
Yeah, that's pretty badass, dude.
it's like I'm proud of all of them. Like I said, some of them were just bigger undertakings than other.
Yeah.
But that always just shows me that there's really nothing you can't do.
Gotcha.
Okay,
man. Yeah, that's pretty badass, dude. Doing all that shit, accomplishing heights. Yeah, man, I'm not a big fan of heights, but okay, cool. Next question. If you weren't doing printing or graphic design, what would you be doing?
I really don't know because as of right now, I'm committed to this, and so I don't really have a plan B.
Okay.
And I feel like another takeaway that I got from real estate was, hey, you need to be kind of all in on something.
Yeah.
If you have a plan B, then you're more likely to take that route. And so right now I'm all in on the print business, and so that's it for me. I don't know what else to do right now, because that's what I live and breathe right now. So.
Gotcha, bro. Okay, for sure, bro. And we've come to the last question, bro. All right, without incriminating ourselves, what's a memory of us that you'll always remember?
I don't think we were really that bad. I mean, I know that we were a little rambunctious, but man, I think my favorite memories of our childhood are just all the time that we got to spend together, and those are those moments, right, that I think especially musically, right, because you always had a great taste in music, and I love music, and I feel like us just discovering new music and listening to music, and then you making music, and my brothers making music, and
Yeah.
just all of those things that just kept our creative minds and creative juices flowing, right?
Yeah.
I think are some of like my fondest memories for sure.
Okay. That's cool, man. Yeah, dude. Every single time we've hung out, it's always been a good time, man. Especially because we live close to each other, man.
Yeah.
During high school, it was just like you were down the fucking street. I could walk to your house.
Hop, skip, and a jump away, and
yeah.
I can say it now, but just like walk into your house drunk in the morning, in the middle of the night, whatever it was,
Yeah, dude.
throw a rock at your window, and you'll open the window like, hey, you want to hang out? Yeah, I do actually want to hang out, and then we'd hang out.
Yeah, man.
So having friends, because you never know. I could have been going through things at that time when I was just like, I just need to walk and go, see a friend, and you were always there for me. So
for sure,
I
bro.
appreciate that, and thank you.
Likewise, man. You too, dude. And like I said at the beginning of this podcast, introducing you, man, you've always been one of my closest friends, dude. Here, and moving to Albuquerque in the early 2000s was like a fucking. It's just, well, it's for anyone moving to a new state, a new school, starting fresh. It's scary, man. So, and I was a little punk back in the day, dude. But no, man, you've always been there for me, dude. You've always been, like I keep saying it, you've been selfless. I can't count how many times, dude. You've always been there to pick me up, man. So thanks, and that's why I had to bring you on the podcast, man, because it's like you got to bring the homies out, man. Like, you've always been there for me, and I got to put you on. I got to put the spotlight on you and your business, dude. So thank you for taking this opportunity to jump on my podcast, man. So
thank you. I appreciate you so much, man. And one of the songs I've been listening to a lot lately because of my friend John, Caldwell. Is it's geez, what is it called? It's by Bobby Caldwell. You know, the one that the sample from The Light comes from, the Common. It says there are times when you'll need someone. I will be by your side. Yeah. So that's how I try to be. You know, just want to, like I said, life's hard enough, and I feel like I just want to help people and prop people up, and be supportive, and I feel like that's come back to me too, and so I think it's a good way to live.
Fuck yeah, dude, I love it. So yeah, that was my last question to you, bro. So this is an open time here for you to throw your shout outs, any plugs you got, and then let people know where they can follow you online, social media, things like that.
Cool, yeah. Well, you can follow us online on Instagram. It's Big Printing Co. At Big Printing Co. We're also on Facebook. Shout out to you, Alex. And like I said, shout out to all of the people who have really steered me in the right direction. Dustin Shaneyfelt, Mike Smirka, Aaron and Gary Richards from Friendship, and man, just everybody in this community. Locally and nationally, just everybody who has ever given me just a chance. Like, thank all of you, shout out to all of you, and yeah, man, I wouldn't be where I'm at without you. So and I'll be here. So if there's times I need somebody, I'll be there.
Fuck yeah, dude, for sure, man. Well, you guys heard it, man, and I'll throw his tags on the description of this video. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Small Talk on the Mats, and I hope you guys enjoy the episode, and until next time, we'll see you guys later. Peace out.